well over half of our total transaction volume, because we do have a fiat and XRP enabled product called on-demand liquidity. Over half of all of our transactions go through XRP now. Over half of all of our transactions go through XRP now. That has grown. And so again, we're continuing to sign more contracts, more customers, and then the contracts and customers we have grown, partly because we opened more corridors, more currency pairs. And so there's kind of a nice series of building the positive virtuous cycle. That's why I'm here. That's why I come to Davos. That's why I'm meeting with regulators, because I want to partner and say, here's how Ripple approaches this. Here's how we see the industry. And I will say, I've found an amazingly receptive audience here in Davos.
We have the technology to allow every financial institution on the planet to settle with every other financial institution in a compatible jurisdiction in any asset in seconds for less than a penny. Just think about this. Anyone who's made a payment knows that we're nowhere near that today. But imagine every financial institution settling with every other financial institution in seconds for less than a penny, any asset. That's fundamentally transformative. We have the technology to do it. Now we just need to figure out how to drive the adoption. And of course, there's all the challenges there's incumbents, there's regulation, there's inertia, there's the big players who are really trying to defend, if you're one of the largest banks in the world, you want to push pause or stop on technology, because you're in the lead. So of course, you say you love technology, but obviously you wish you could stop it. So,
hello guys. Today I have some amazing news for you. We are now in the end game. Ripple will win, which will make it the first company to ever have clear regulations in the crypto world. That will immediately catapult Ripple to the top companies in the crypto world. Don't even get me started on what this will mean for XRP holders. Anyway, before we get down to the nitty-gritty of what is happening in the crypto world, let's roll that intro. As always, welcome to MoneySide, your favorite crypto channel. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. That way you get updates when we drop new videos. And don't forget to smash that like button. You can always leave a comment or a question in the section below. The entire world is now coming to the realization that crypto is the perfect hedge against inflation. The economy worldwide seems to be getting worse by the day, despite the optimism that has been running around. Truth be told, we might not escape the coming recession, and that's why most people are now turning to crypto as a salvation. However, even though there's hope, Bitcoin will pump higher considering the halving event that will happen next year. I highly think this move will not be sustainable. Generally, Bitcoin doesn't have any real value. Now, what do I mean? Well, aside from using it as a payment token, it's slow, consumes too much energy to mine, and has the worst name in the real world. On the other hand, cryptos such as XRP can help in cross-border payments, on-demand liquidity, and so much more.
When XRP was created, and this actually was created before Ripple existed, the creators of XRP decided to be 100 billion units because they saw it as rather than having a smaller number with a very high price, they saw it as something they wanted to be effectively a global reserve currency.
The other thing behind this, right, is the establishment of fair market value. So this may be the plan. The plan may be to use XRP as the world reserve currency, right? The problem they have is that they're all on that side of the table. So they can't really they know it's the plan. They can't establish that to be fair market value for us. They actually have to engage in a open transaction of some type to set where we know that that's their plan, right? And that we would be willing to sell our property for that value, right? That's how they would actually establish the fair market value, which will then imply or infer the value of all their holdings. So let's just say that there was one global bank. There's one bank, and just for the sake of, kind of figuring this out, there's one bank and it already holds 90% of the XRP. Only thing is, it's got all these liabilities, and it's 90% of the XRPs at 35 cents. And so it's not near enough to basically to be an asset that offsets those liabilities, right? They need a transaction where they can write up the value of their XRP.
Yeah.
Why not buy the 10% that's out in retail? We think it's substantially less than that's out in retail. We think it's between 0.5 point and 2 points of the whole thing that's actually held by retail. So $500 million to $2 billion.
Okay.
Of the whole thing. So anyway, they got to buy the 10% in our example here, and why not set the price at the high price that you're now 90% does cover all of your liabilities. That's how it works. And this is just like basic, simple. This happens every day in capital markets, and when Elon bought Twitter, right? Twitter was probably trading at, I don't know, $43 or something a share, and he said, I'm going to pay 50, was it 54.20? There was a 420.
Yeah.
So I'm going to pay 54.20, and that represented a premium, but the value of the company then was worth what he paid for it, because that was a fair market value deal striking thing.
We think this is the beginning of the end of the case in terms of how the case is going to unfold. Just to level set really briefly, what this case is about is whether or not an offer or sale of a digital asset is a special type of security known as an investment contract. There are no allegations of fraud in this case. There are no allegations of misrepresentation. There are no allegations of market manipulation. It really is a technical issue, and whether or not the offer and sale of a digital asset needs to be registered as a security. So we believe that unless there is a contract for an investment, there's no case, and actually there's no authority for the SEC to even weigh in. But if you get to the Howey case, and I think most of your viewers know what that is, we believe that they don't satisfy any of the prongs of the Howey case.
The biggest problem for this crypto has always been the SEC, even though Brad Garlinghouse has been working hand in hand with them. Within the next few days, you will probably see a huge surge of crypto traders stocking up their investment in crypto. Why? Chances are the economy is about to get even worse, especially in the American market. And when that happens, the crypto world is always in a frenzy. That's because most people run to crypto, since it's their Hail Mary. However, this time, it's not just an escape from the harsh economy. Cryptos, such as XRP, will likely dominate the market this year. The current SEC case is about to end. And when that happens, XRP will go all the way to $50,000 or more. Yep, I said it. You can't deny the fact that this crypto is headed straight to the moon.
Indicative of, to some degree, a crypto winter that, as you just suggested, has changed in tone from how the last Davos, in terms of just, there was a lot of hype, a lot of noise around all things crypto at the last Davos, and I think seeing the change, and I actually think it's a really healthy change, that there's more focus on utility. Are these technologies that are solving real problems? And I think to your question, I think to the extent there are companies solving real problems for real customers, and they're going to continue to grow regardless of the environment. Is there continued contagion? I think, we're obviously continuing to hear noise about what's going on with DCG and Gemini. Hard to know. It sounds like that could work out in a constructive way. I think all of this has not been great for crypto at large. But again, if you just focus on companies that are solving real problems, certainly Ripple had a record 2022. We'd rather see crypto do well at large, but we had a great year, signed up more and more customers and more volume going through our payment rails.
And in terms of your outlook for 2023, we've seen a bit of a bump for Bitcoin and the crypto markets. Are you expecting that to continue, or is it just a little bit of false hope?
Well, I've tried to stay out of the short-term price prediction on all things Bitcoin, or crypto in general. I'm long-term very bullish, because I think these are technologies that can solve real problems at scale. And I think when you have kind of new emerging technologies, not dissimilar than, frankly, the internet and kind of the dot-com bubble, sometimes the hype gets ahead of the reality. That comes into balance over time. But we shouldn't forget, it was really not that long ago, 21 years, Amazon during the dot-com bubble almost went out of business. So that the fact that you're seeing some changes in the crypto world, I think can be healthy for the long-term health of the industry.
And yet FTX appears to be a very high-profile case of fraud. There are serious regulatory and auditing gaps that went on with that institution. And yet at the same time, what I'm reading is so many people have been critical of SBF for having this close relationship with the regulators, the fact that he visited Gary Gensler so many times. So where do you draw the line? We need to strengthen regulation and oversight in this industry, but how close should the relationship be between your peer group and the U.S. regulators who are looking at these institutions?
First of all, I think you're exactly right. We talk about this as a crypto problem, but really this is just fraud. And I think in some ways not that dissimilar than Bernie Madoff. And when Bernie Madoff occurred, we didn't totally restructure how we thought about oversight and regulation of hedge funds. We realized that, hey, clearly in that case also the SEC had overlooked, and if people had reported to the SEC, they should be looking into Bernie Madoff. So I know that the SEC had met a bunch of times with SBF. I don't know the specifics of what types of oversight they were applying. I do think this is a fraud. I don't view this as a crypto problem at large. But to your point, I think regulatory clarity globally is important. And we're seeing a lot of countries. I mean, here we are in Davos, and Switzerland's clearly one of the countries leading in providing regulatory clarity at early stage. You have the UAE leaning in, the UK, Japan, Singapore. The U.S. is notably absent from that list. And I think in some ways, the regulators in the U.S. have added confusion to the crypto marketplace.
And let's talk about those regulators in the U.S., the SEC, Brad. Let's get a check-in on what's going on with that lawsuit with the SEC and Ripple. Are you nearing an end potentially? Are you planning to settle with the SEC?
Well, we've always said that we would love to settle, but it requires one very, very, very important thing. And that is that on a go-forward basis, it's clear that XRP is not a security. The SEC and Gary Gensler has very outwardly said he views almost all crypto as a security, and so that leaves very little space in a Venn diagram for settlement. The case is now fully briefed in front of the judge, and judges take however long the judges will take. We're optimistic that this will certainly be resolved in 2023 and maybe the first half. So we'll see how it plays out from here, but I feel very good about where we are relative to the law and the fact.
The future is very clear, and the only one who hasn't caught up to it is the SEC and everyone listening to the mainstream media. If you check the facts, the truth will come out, and obviously Ripple will win. The only difference is, when can we expect the settlement? Generally, this court case will mark the start of regulatory clarity in the cryptoverse, and that is a good thing. So let's be patient, let's wait and see what the justice system will do next. In the meantime, keep holding on to your XRP. As always, please do your own research, and always trade safely, guys. Please keep in mind, we're not a licensed financial advisor. All the videos on this channel are intended for entertainment purposes only. You can let us know what you think in the comment section below, and let's start a conversation. Thanks as always for watching. Couldn't be here without you. Don't forget to like this video, and please click on that subscribe button. And be sure to turn on notifications, that way you get posted when we put up new content. Look forward to seeing you next time here on Money Side.